Okay, I'm live. Welcome to my channel, Inviting Possibilities. My name is Rochelle, and I am here to do a reading for fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. That's Sun, Moon, Rising, or anybody else who happens to come across this video. It is my intention that there is always something in my readings for anybody who happens to hear them. And my readings are timeless as well. So I'm doing a new thing. If you haven't tuned into any of my recent videos, I am letting the universe send me a message through Spotify to help give a baseline of my readings, because I love music, and the message has been coming up a lot, like that the universe sends messages in all these different ways, and can often send them through music. And so I play a song randomly, Spotify randomly plays it, and I use the title for the baseline of the reading. So for you, the the title is Upswing, which is really great. There's a lot of hope and optimism in that. It's moving through something and coming out the other end, that things are starting to or are going to start looking up. There's going to be an upswing. So I have chosen 3 cards from Wisdom of the Oracle, and then I will clarify with some other decks. The cards that I've chosen today, there's a big message around you trying to be in control of something, and it's exhausting you, and you need to release. You need to release the attempting to control things to come out in a certain way. So we start with TikTok, which is, it's like knowing that, or learning that things don't work out in a certain timeline, certainly not in a way that follows your own expectations, that there's divine timing in life, in situations. And you have some kind of desire, something that you're wanting to achieve in some way, and you have these big expectations around it. You really, really want it. And because of that, you're trying to make something happen. And what's happening is, we get this card, Time for a Nap in Protection. You are pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion. You're not listening to the messages from the universe, noticing, seeing, listening, whatever, however you get your messages. You're kind of ignoring them because you're so focused on this goal. We'll call it a goal. And it's burning you out. You are running on fumes at this point. And this card in particular is really speaking to needing to release the control around this thing, around this goal, because it is wearing you out. And if you continue moving forward in the way that you have, it can actually lead to illness, being so exhausted that you literally cannot move anymore. I mean, this is a story. This is my mom's story. I witnessed her. She still does it. Push and push and push, ignoring all the signs, and a lot of them from her body saying, hey, I can't do this anymore. And then getting to the point where her body's like, okay, no, I'm done. You need to stop. I'm forcing it. So So, regardless of how passionate you are, how excited you are, how badly you want this thing, this goal, this desire, it's the timing isn't right. And pushing it, trying to make it happen, is only working against you. Because fate has a hand in what's going on. Again, there's this needing to release control, divine timing. It talks about the serenity prayer. How does it go? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And there are things in this situation you have no control over. And you got to tap into that serenity and take a nap. Drop what you're doing and back away. And know that whatever is rightfully yours will come in good time. There's no need to rush something to make it happen right now. As much as you want it, you're hitting your head against a brick wall until it's bloody, and you get nothing out of it but a big old headache and a bunch of messy blood. And at a certain point, like, you're going to give yourself a concussion and you could die. So it's just, you gotta stop. And releasing that control allows you to go into this upswing where you can, because you're serene, you start to feel better. You get clarity, stepping back, releasing, taking the time to rest actually brings more clarity, actually allows you to see a new things that maybe you had missed before because you were so hyper focused. It's trusting that the universe has your back and knows the direction that is correct for you. And yes, it's important to take the steps to do what you need to do to move forward, but it's also important to know when to again, just back away, just stop, take that nap, do something else, do something fun that fulfills you, that even if this thing is fulfilling to you in some way, do something else, do something different. Okay, so then I'm going to clarify with the Good Tarot. The Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed. Most of my decks are by her. Okay, one more shuffle. And here we go. Two of Earth. In this deck, this card speaks to doing something that you really enjoy, loving your work, but also needing to find a balance between work and play. If we are talking about work, it could be like, maybe you are an entrepreneur, maybe you're trying to start some kind of business, and maybe there is some kind of pressure, financial pressure or something. And you gotta find that balance. She's holding the pentacles. They're not in balance. You gotta remember that, yes, it's good to take the steps and do what you need to do. But with any kind of job, you have to know when to walk away and focus on yourself. Because if you don't, you can literally hurt yourself. Yeah. And I'm really getting that this is something that you're very passionate about. But yes, the balance is important. Oh, I don't want to put that away yet. Four of Water, needing to take the time to contemplate where you're at, reassess, do some introspection, realize that there are opportunities around you. There are abundant opportunities. But if they're not coming to you right now, trying to make them happen, it doesn't work. You can't force it. You can't force a flower to bloom. It happens in its own good time, and then you can enjoy the reward. So you gotta step back. You gotta take the time. Give yourself the space, and the water is about intuition, emotions, needing to take the time to tap in to yourself and really recognize where you've been ignoring yourself. Probably your emotions are not in balance. And whenever you start to feel imbalanced, whenever you start to feel feelings that are of a lower vibration, that's an indication that you're not listening to yourself. You're not listening to some kind of message that your intuition is trying to send you. Messenger of Fire. Yeah. I just picked this one recently. I hadn't picked it in a long time. I feel like this is you're very passionate. You're very dedicated to some idea. Fiercely dedicated. Whatever you're doing, whatever this is that's making you so excited, by stepping back and taking a nap, by focusing on yourself, it's not going to make the desire go away. It's going to help feed that desire, and again, kind of give you clarity on how to move forward in a new way, in a different way. There's more to this card that I am not remembering. Yeah, it's moving forward so passionately. But there is not balance. You got to find that balance. Yeah, determination for a new adventure, innovation, independent, creative action, spirited and headstrong. And, it's, again, all those things are good. You could be watching this and being like, she's crazy. I have a dream and I'm going to make it happen. But in fact, the universe is like, hold your horses. Calm down. It's going to work out. It's going to work out in the right time. So then I'm going to go to Wisdom of Avalon. The Wisdom of Avalon. It's so interesting. The more I do the cards, the more synchronicities and things with them show up. When I was shuffling this deck, I usually don't look at my decks when I shuffle. And I happened to look down while I was shuffling, and this card popped up. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Whatever, put it back in, reshuffled. Here we are. There's some kind of disruption in your life around this goal, this desire. And no matter how hard you try to push through it, you're not going to make any headway. It's like trying to swim up the waterfall. You're not only working against the current, you're working against gravity. It's not going to happen. You got to find that balance. And if you don't listen, if you don't allow the disruption to move you to the kind of downstream where it's a little calmer, the disruption is going to affect you physically. And then there will be a huge disruption in your life where you can't even do anything. Right now, you have a choice, but there will be a point when your body's like, no more. No more chances, no more choices. This is what's happening. And then you will be laid up, and who knows? You know, you don't want to feel bad. You don't want to get sick. My goodness. Yes. Yes. Restriction. The path forward is dark. And sometimes it's important to move towards the unknown, towards the darkness. But in this case, there is restriction for a reason. And that's because you have to care for yourself. You have not been doing it. Burning the candle at both ends. And it's going to hurt you. Don't do it. Pride and leadership. I feel like there's this message around your pride is caught up in this. Maybe you're trying to prove yourself to someone or some group of someone's. Maybe you feel like there's some kind of old idea that doesn't work for you. That's like, in order to be successful, I have to have achieved A, B, and C, and you're not going to feel successful until then. And it comes back to the pride and ego. It's like losing sight of why you started doing something in the first place. It's kind of like there's an ulterior motive that has crept in, and maybe it was already there, but now that is kind of driving you. And to know that it's important, like you do have it in you to be a good leader, to realize this dream, this goal. You have the passion, you have the tenacity. But you have to tap into the intuitive part of yourself. I feel like that's kind of being ignored here. This part of yourself, your emotions, this part of yourself that does know it's your direct line to your higher power. And you need to start listening. You need to tap in and start paying attention. Because you will get to that place. You will get to that leadership position. But if you get there, I mean, if you were to actually achieve this, based on how you're going right now, not only would you be showing up in a strange way that could potentially affect the results of this goal, of this dream, but then you can end up getting sick, and then you can't enjoy it anyway. Okay, let's go to the Oracle Tarot. Where's that upswing? I mean, yeah, the upswing. It comes from releasing the control, from getting out of your ego and your pride of needing things to happen in a certain way. Changing your beliefs around how things should happen and what it means if they don't. Talent and skills. You're using your talent and skills to move forward. This is something that you were made for. It's in you. And this is a card about learning as well. And this could be why you need to step back. Also, is because there's more to learn. And if you keep trying to go with this laser focus, you're going to miss the lessons. The Fool, yeah. Yeah, the Fool is not concerned about being in control of anything. The Fool wants to play. The Fool is just like, let's just enjoy the moment. Let's just enjoy things as they come. The Fool probably really enjoys taking naps. Spontaneity, taking chances. Could be that your ego and your pride is you're so caught up in this vision that you're restricting yourself in some way from taking chances that will actually move you forward. You're not allowing yourself to be spontaneous. And that could be part of the restriction as well. You're restricting yourself. You're restricting the flow of energy. The energy flows really well with the Fool. Just in the moment, enjoying life. Can't do it if you're exhausted. Put down your burden. That's right. Yep. This dream, this desire has become a burden. As much as you want it, it's not working for you right now. You just drop all your things. And maybe, the tens are always about the end of a cycle. It could be that you need to reassess. You need to pivot. You're at a point where the disruptions and the restrictions are happening because you've gone off the path. And the universe is like, I gotta reroute you back to where you're supposed to be going. And so something is ending so that you can move forward in a more spontaneous, excited, happy way. When you're trying to be in control, you're not happy. That control comes from fear. Trying to keep everything up in the air just stresses you out, makes you crazy. You just got to drop it. Oh, I apologize for my cats. This is about the time when they get crazy. Crazy kitty mode. Yeah, I feel like I need the Osho Zen. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Osho has to say about this. I can only imagine. Let's see. Yeah. Consciousness. Taking a nap, stepping back, resting, reevaluating, tapping into your intuition, to your inner knowing, doing that introspection gets you connected to your intuition, your connection to your higher power. This is the epitome of being serene. Taking the cosmic nap. There's like something that's right there wanting to come in. It's like coming in your blind spot. And you're so focused here and you've got your blinders on, or your blinkers, as they say in the UK. You're totally missing it. And you're like, I don't know, you got some kind of wall because you're not in, it's taking those off and using your peripheral vision. And it's like, oh, what's this over here? Oh, yeah, totally help transform whatever you're doing in a way that's going to work for you. Transform. I just said it. Oh my gosh. Yes. Immediately I'm drawn to the Phoenix here. Whatever is going on in the situation, you have to let something drop away. You have to let it burn away in order to be able to rise up again. The disruptions and the restrictions are there for a reason. So that you can find find that happy place. Tap into your serenity. Rebirth. Wow. This is the upswing. And another 10. 10 falls on the 10. Dropping your burden allows you to have the rebirth that you need in order to move forward, get you back on the right track. I don't even understand what's happening in this picture. I mean, the lion speaks to me of strength, of courage, of power, being fierce and tenacious, using that energy to get you to your happy place. But you've been stuck down here. The camels are quite stubborn. Don't know if you've ever encountered any. they don't move the way you want them to sometimes, without a lot of like whacking on them. And I feel like this is you releasing the control so that you can be reborn in this place of having the strength, having the power and the courage and the excitement from a very authentic place. Having seen your ulterior motives for wanting this thing and coming to terms with that and getting back to the reason that you started in the first place. And probably it has something to do with how it's going to make you feel. That it's actually, you're doing it because it feels good, because you are naturally built for it. It's your passion. It could be your mission in life, your purpose in some way. Releasing your burdens gets you back to that point. Yeah. Yeah, you are on an upswing. You certainly can be. This is all in your hands. This is all in your hands. you gotta open those hands. You gotta release. Allow. Be serene. Know the universe will bring in what you need when it's time. The miracles will come exactly when you need them. Teaching and learning. Yeah, I think you have a lot to teach. You have a lot to learn. And we always do. That's the point of life. That's how you grow. Because when you teach, you learn as you teach. And then as you learn, then you're able to gain things that you can turn around and teach again. Whatever you're doing, I'm drawn back to the leadership card. that probably you're meant to show up, you're going through the situation, you're doing this thing as a way to help others. But rather than it being, maybe in the beginning you were like, yeah, I just want to help. But then you got to a point where you're like, somehow your ego took over and you're like, yeah, I really want people to follow me and like me and think I'm awesome. Maybe there's a part of you that doesn't think you're so awesome. And you got to get back to that. Back to your original intention. Lots to learn, lots to teach. It's always going around. Spirituality. Yeah, tapping into your spiritual side, the part of you that is so much more than whatever is here in this 3D reality. Knowing that you are an extension of your higher power. And knowing that by tapping into your intuition, taking that nap, taking the time to reflect and contemplate, you are allowing the universe to bring you the downloads that you need to get you back on the right path. Yeah. Yeah. The change is the upswing. It is the rebirth. I think that you are going to come out of this at some point. The less stubborn you can be about it, the better. The quicker it'll go. Put yourself first. Whatever you've been doing, you haven't been putting yourself first. Really listen to what your body is telling you, what your intuition is telling you, and it will lead you to the necessary change. Mad Soul Tarot, welcome. I'm just finishing. Okay. Wow. Quite the reading. I wish you well on this journey. Remember that serenity prayer. I think it will help you. Yes. Okay, so I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and night and tomorrow, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you on the next video. Mwah. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe.